You've got a nice bonsai and you want to put it in a nice pot. Maybe you've added some rocks or other decorative items to the base of the tree. But when we take the time to look at this scene more closely, there's something still missing. It lacks depth and layers of interest. There's no life or movement. And while you might think it just needs to grow in a little bit, there's actually a very intentional way to achieve this effect that any bonsai enthusiast can do. It's called Kusamono. I'm here from a bonsai company where we specialize in providing high quality, affordable bonsai and all the tools you need to keep them happy and healthy. The term Kusamono translates roughly to grass and flower. Kusamono are plants that are intentionally underplanted with your bonsai. They aren't part of the bonsai, but they complement it. Some common choices for Kusamono include mint, basil, sedum, ferns, and grasses. But you'll also see other flowering or fruiting plants like hydrangeas, maples, camellias, and even bromeliads. Small plants are often used because they stay relatively small and don't compete with the bonsai for space. But they do pack a powerful punch when it comes to adding visual interest. The concept of including smaller plants alongside bonsai originated in China. In fact, Chinese scholar noted the practice as far back as 825 CE. It made its way to Japan around the 16th century and has been a popular addition to bonsai ever since. Historically, the styles of planting would have changed with the seasons. For example, during the summer, a bamboo grove might have been used, whereas during the winter, a display of snow-covered pines would have been more fitting. Today, however, Kusamono are usually meant to be enjoyed year-round, and modern bonsai artists tend to use just one or two types of Kusamono rather than changing them out seasonally. But why bother with Kusamono at all? What do they really add to the bonsai? A lot, actually. First, they offer lushness. This is especially true if you have a bonsai with delicate foliage like a Japanese maple or an azalea. In these cases, you'll want to choose a Kusamono with coarser or thicker foliage to fill out the display. Second, Kusamono offers seasonal contrast. If your bonsai is bare, like many conifers are in the winter, a splash of color from a flowering Kusamono can really make it pop. Third, they provide vertical contrast. Even very small trees need a little height variation. By including plants with tall, thin foliage, you can add that element without taking up additional space. Fourth, Kusamono add movement to the display. If the plants have arching or cascading foliage, they draw the viewer's eye through the entire scene. And finally, Kusamono provide opportunities for repetition. If the plant has multiple stems, you can mirror the branching pattern of the bonsai. Just be sure not to go overboard. You don't want your Kusamono to completely overtake your bonsai. If you're going to include multiple plants, be sure to space them evenly and choose ones with different heights and textures so the display doesn't look too busy. Now, let's talk about how to plant your Kusamono. The first thing to consider is size. Don't try to cram too much into a small space. 2 or 3 plants is plenty. Also, consider the size of the mature plant. You don't want to end up with overgrown bush taking over your bonsai. Next, think about the shape of the plants. Choose ones that complement the bonsai rather than compete with it. For example, a round bush will look great next to a conical tree, but it may not be the best choice for an informal upright or a cascading style. Another important consideration is the color of the foliage. Choose plants that provide contrast to the bonsai rather than blending in with it. For example, a red-leaved shrub will look great next to a green-leaf bonsai, but it may not be the best choice for an evergreen tree with dark green needles. Finally, consider the maintenance requirements of the plants. Choose ones that are easy to care for and don't require frequent watering or fertilizing. How you plant your Kusamono is also important. Generally, you'll want to plant them deeply and water them well before putting them in the display. Space the plants evenly and avoid overcrowding. And if they're in pots, be sure to sink them below the rim so the pots aren't visible. When arranging your Kusamono, follow the same design principles you would with the bonsai itself. For example, if you're using multiple plants, group them together for visual impact. Or if you're using a single plant, place it off to one side or behind the bonsai to create a focal point. Let's take a closer look at a few examples. Here we have a juniper bonsai with dark green foliage. We want to add some color to the display, so we've chosen a dwarf burning bush with bright red leaves. We've planted the bush off to one side of the bonsai, which helps to create a focal point. And by sinking the pot below the rim of the tray, we've eliminated any distractions. Here's another example. This time we have a pine bonsai with light green needles. We want to add some vertical contrast, so we've chosen a dwarf mondo grass with arching foliage. We've planted the grass in the foreground and allowed it to spill over the edge of the tray to create a sense of movement. And again, by sinking the pot below the rim, we've kept the display clean and clutter-free. As you can see, the possibilities for creating interesting and dynamic displays with Kusamono are endless. So don't be afraid to experiment until you find what works best for you. However, what if you don't have room to accommodate larger plants like the ones we've shown today? There are plenty of small options that can work just as well. Miniature hostas, for instance, are a great choice for their variegated foliage and compact growth habit. Creeping Charlie is another option. It grows quickly and easily and provides a nice pop of purple. Sedums are also a good choice for their succulent-like foliage and ease of care. And if you have a shady area, consider planting a miniature fern. Not only will it add lushness to your display, but it will also help to retain moisture in the soil. Finally, don't forget about dwarf conifers. These small trees stay relatively small and provide year-round interest with their colorful foliage. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more bonsai tips and tutorials. And if you're looking for more inspiration, be sure to visit our website for more information. Thanks for watching.